The Vikings. These warriors, explorers, and settlers shaped history in ways you might not expect. From their fearsome reputation to their surprising influence on modern culture, here are 10 things you need to know about the Vikings. And trust me, number 8 will surprise you. Let's get started. 1. The Vikings were expert shipbuilders. The Vikings are known for their longships, which were technological marvels of the time. These ships allowed them to travel vast distances from North America to the Middle East, and they could navigate both open seas and shallow rivers. 2. They didn't just raid, they traded too. While they're famous for their raids, the Vikings were also traders. They established trade routes across Europe, dealing in goods like silver, furs, and slaves, and traded as far as the Byzantine Empire and the Abbasid Caliphate. 3. They settled in many lands. Not only did the Vikings raid and trade, but they also settled in various parts of Europe. From Iceland to Greenland, and even parts of modern-day Russia, they left a lasting mark on many regions, blending their culture with local populations. 4. Viking society was more complex than you think. Viking society wasn't just about warriors. They had a structured society with farmers, merchants, and craftsmen. Women too had more rights compared to other societies at the time, including the ability to own property and initiate divorce. 5. The Viking Age wasn't as long as you think. Despite their lasting impact, the Viking Age was relatively short. It began in 793 AD with the raid on Lindisfarne and ended around 1066 AD with the Battle of Stamford Bridge, marking about 300 years of Viking activity. 6. They had a rich mythology. The Vikings worshipped gods like Odin, Thor, and Freyja. Their mythology was filled with stories of epic battles, creation myths, and the belief in Valhalla, the hall where warriors who died in battle would live on forever. 7. They wore more than just helmets. One of the biggest myths is that Vikings wore horned helmets. In reality, there's no evidence they did. Instead, they wore simple helmets for protection, and their clothing was practical for the cold climates they lived in. 8. Vikings were known for their hygiene. Contrary to their barbaric reputation, the Vikings were actually quite hygienic. Archaeologists have found tweezers, razors, combs, and even ear cleaners at Viking excavation sites. They took pride in their appearance and even bathed more regularly than many Europeans at the time. 9. They were masters of navigation. The Vikings didn't have compasses, but they were master navigators. They used the sun, stars, and natural landmarks to guide their ships. Some evidence suggests they even used sunstones to navigate on cloudy days. 10. The legacy of the Vikings lives on. From place names in England to words in our modern language, the Vikings' legacy is still visible today. Words like Thursday, from Thor's Day, and Berserk are just a couple of examples of how Viking culture has influenced the present. And there you have it, 10 things about the Vikings, including some surprising facts that may have changed the way you see them. If you're enjoying this dive into history, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon for more fascinating historical facts. There's a lot more to discover.